Narito ang ulat ni Manzanilla.
Ipinalabas na ng Home Development Mutual Fund o Pag-ibig Fund ang 22 million pesos na calamity loan sa nasa 1,500 members sa Bicol Region.
Yung pagkakilalang yan, ay hindi lang yung pagkakilala by name. Yan ang pagkakilala mismo sapagkat tinanggap si Kristo bilang Panginoon at tagapagligtas.
But we should thank God that we were spared from the super typhoon. It's better to expect the worst and get little than expect little and get the worst. And good job din sa mga citizens na sumunod at nakinig sa paabiso ng ating mga leader.
Mamita, sweet!
Mamita, anyway.
Yeah, ano?
Anyway, anything.
Ano, di si Ganda kung ngaran mo. Si anyway, si anything, ano pa?
God is love dapat.
Nagdiriwang sa kanyang ika-51 taong anibersaryo ng katatagan at katapatan na nagmumula sa Diyos para sa mga Bicolano at sa mundo. Naniniwalang anuman ang kanyang sinimulan ay kanya ding kukumpletuhin.
Ang buhay namin nasa iyong kamay, kumikilos sa iyong gabay, bawat tagumpay, ikaw ang nagbigay.
Ito ang 104.3 DWAY-FM, himpilan ng Far East Broadcasting Company sa Bicolandia, kasapi ng KBP. Kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas. Balitang hatid ay buhay at pag-asa. Kasama si Yvette dito sa Marhay na Bareta.
Magandang gabi sa ating mga tagapakinig ngayong araw na ito. Dito lamang sa ating istasyong Care 104.3 DWAY-FM at kayo po ay nakikinig ng ating programang Marhay na Bareta. Kami ay nagagalak na kayo ay makasama sa ating programa ng pagbabasa ng Biblia. Sa araw na ito, tayo ay nagsasama-sama upang simulan ang isang makabuluhang paglalakbay sa pamamagitan ng salita ng Diyos. Bakit nga ba mahalaga ang pagbabasa ng Biblia? Ang Biblia ay hindi lamang isang aklat. Ito ay buhay na salita ng Diyos na nagbibigay sa atin ng gabay, karunungan at inspirasyon sa ating pang-araw-araw na buhay. At sa ating programa, layunin nating palalimin ang ating pananampalataya. Sa pamamagitan ng regular na pagbabasa, pakikinig at pagninilay-nilay, mas makikilala natin ang Diyos at ang kanyang mga plano para sa atin. Sama-sama nating pag-aralan at pag-usapan ang mga aral ng Biblia upang magtulungan sa ating espiritual na pag-unlad. At hinihikayat din natin ang bawat isa na isabuhay ang mga natututunan, ang inyong mga maririnig na salita ng Diyos. At habang tayo ay sama-sama sa pagbalalakbay na ito ng pagbabasa ng salita ng Diyos dito sa ating programang Marhay na Bareta, naway maging bukas ang ating mga puso at isipan sa mga aral na ibibigay ng Diyos sa atin. Muli, maligayang pakikinig sa ating programa ng pagbabasa ng Biblia, ang Marhay na Bareta. At naway pagpalain tayo ng Diyos sa ating pagsusumikap na mas makilala siya sa pamamagitan ng kanyang salita. Narito ang ating Marhay na Bareta sa araw na ito.
Judges 20. Then all Israel from Dan to Beersheba and from the land of Gilead came together as one and assembled before the Lord in Mizpah. The leaders of all the people of the tribes of Israel took their places in the assembly of God's people. 400,000 men armed with swords. The Benjamites heard that the Israelites had gone up to Mizpah. Then the Israelites said, "Tell us how this awful thing happened." So the Levite, the husband of the murdered woman, said, "I and my concubine came to Gibeah in Benjamin to spend the night. During the night, the men of Gibeah came after me and surrounded the house, intending to kill me. They raped my concubine and she died. I took my concubine, cut her into pieces, and sent one piece to each region of Israel's inheritance, because they committed this lewd and outrageous act in Israel. Now, all you Israelites, speak up and tell me what you have decided to do." All the men rose up together as one, saying, "None of us will go home. No, not one of us will return to his house. But now, this is what we'll do to Gibeah. We'll go up against it in the order decided by casting lots. We'll take 10 men out of every 100 from all the tribes of Israel, and 100 from all the tribes of Israel. We'll take 10 men out of every 100 from all the tribes of Israel, and 100 from 1,000, and 1,000 from 10,000, to get provisions for the army. Then, when the army arrives at Gibeah in Benjamin, it can give them what they deserve for this outrageous act done in Israel." So all the Israelites got together and united as one against the city. The tribes of Israel sent messengers throughout the tribe of Benjamin, saying, "What about this awful crime that was committed among you? Now, turn those wicked men of Gibeah over to us, so that we can put them to death and purge the evil from Israel." But the Benjamites would not listen to their fellow Israelites. From their towns they came together as Gibeah to fight against the Israelites. At once the Benjamite mobilized 26,000 swordmen from their towns, in addition to 700 able young men from those living in Gibeah. Among all these soldiers, there were 700 select troops who were left-handed, each of whom could sling a stone at a hair and not miss it. Israel, apart from Benjamin, mustered 400,000 swordmen, all of them fit to battle. The Israelites went up to Bethel and inquired of God. They said, "Who of us is to go up first to fight against the Benjamites?" The Lord replied, "Judah shall go first." The next morning, the Israelites got up and pitched camp near Gibeah. The Israelites went out to fight the Benjamites and took up the battle positions against them at Gibeah. The Benjamite came out of Gibeah and cut down 22,000 Israelites on the battlefield that day. But the Israelites encouraged one another and again took up their positions where they had stationed themselves the first day. The Israelites went up and wept before the Lord until evening, and they inquired of the Lord. They said, "Shall we go up again to fight against the Benjamite, our fellow Israelites?" The Lord answered, "Go up against them." Then the Israelites drew near to Benjamin the second day. This time, when the Benjamite came out from Gibeah to oppose them, they cut down another 8,000 Israelites, all of them armed with swords. Then all the Israelites, the whole army, went up to Bethel, and there they sat weeping before the Lord. They fasted that day until evening and presented burnt offerings and fellowship offerings to the Lord. And the Israelites inquired of the Lord. In those days, the ark of the covenant of God was there, with Phinehas son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, ministering before it. They asked, "Shall we go up again to fight against the Benjamite, our fellow Israelites, or not?" The Lord responded, "Go, for tomorrow I will give them into your hands." Then Israel set an ambush around Gibeah. They went up against the Benjamite on the third day and took up positions against Gibeah as they had done before. Then Benjamites came out to meet them and were drawn away from the city. They began to inflict casualties on the Israelites as before, so that about 30 men fell in the open field and on the roads, the one leading to Bethel and the other to Gibeah. While the Benjamites were saying, "We are defeating them as before," the Israelites were saying, "Let's retreat and draw them away from the city to the roads." All the men of Israel moved from their places and took up positions at Baal-Tamar, and the Israelite ambush charged out of his place on the west of Gibeah. Then 10,000 of Israel's able young men made a frontal attack on Gibeah. The fighting was so heavy that the Benjamite did not realize how near disaster was. The Lord defeated Benjamin before Israel, and on that day, the Israelites struck down 25,100 Benjamites, all armed with swords. Then the Benjamites saw that they were beaten. Now, the men of Israel had given away before Benjamin, because they relied on the ambush they had set near Gibeah. Those who had been in ambush made a sudden dash into Gibeah, spread out and put the whole city to the sword. The Israelites had arranged with the ambush that they should send up a great cloud of smoke. The Israelites had arranged with the ambush that they should send up a great cloud of smoke from the city, and then the Israelites would counterattack. The Benjamite had begun to inflict casualties on Israel, about 30, and they said, "We are defeating them as in the first battle." But when the column of smoke began to rise from the city, the Benjamites turned and saw the whole city going up in smoke. Then the Israelites counterattacked, and the Benjamites were terrified, because they realized that disaster had come on them. So they fled before the Israelites on the direction of the wilderness, but they could not escape the battle. And the Israelites who came out of the towns cut them down there. They surrounded the Benjamites, chased them, and easily overran them in the vicinity of Gibeah on the east. 18,000 Benjamites fell, all of them valiant fighters. As they turned and fled toward the wilderness to the rock of Rimmon, the Israelites cut down 5,000 men along the roads. They kept pressing after the Benjamite as far as Gidom and struck down 2,000 more. On that day, 25,000 Benjamite swordsmen fell, all of them valiant fighters. But 600 of them turned and fled into the wilderness to the rock of Rimmon, where they stayed 4 months. The men of Israel went back to Benjamin and put all the towns to the sword, including the animals and everything else they found. All the towns they came across they set on fire.
Mga kapatid, sa pagtatapos ng ating programa sa pagbabasa ng salita ng Diyos, dito sa ating programang Marhay na Bareta, tayo ay nagagalak sa mga aral at inspirasyon ating natamo o ating napakinggan mula sa salita ng Diyos. Naway, ang mga katotohanan ito ay maging gabay at lakas natin sa araw-araw ng pamumuhay. Nagpapasalamat tayo sa Panginoon sa pagkakataong ito na magkasama-sama tayo sa pag-aaral at pakikinig ng Kanyang mga salita. Nawa sa ating mga puso ay dalhin natin ang mga salitang ito. Tayo'y manalangin. Aming Amang nasa langit, salamat po sa mga oras na ito ng pagninilay-nilay at pag-aaral ng iyong mga salita. Naway ang mga aral na aming natamo ay magbunga ng pagbabago sa aming mga buhay. Gabayan mo po kami sa araw-araw naming gawain. At sa aming pagtulog ngayong gabi, Panginoon, kami po ay magkaroon ng maayos na kapahingahan na nagmumula sa iyo. Ipinagkakatiwala namin sa iyo ang aming mga puso at isipan. Naway patuloy mo kaming palakasin at pagpalain. Sa pangalan ng aming Diyos na si Jesus. Amen and Amen. Hanggang sa muli nating pagkikita-kita at pakikinig ng mga salita ng Diyos. Naway ang kapayapaan at biyaya ng Diyos ay sumainyo. At patuloy tayong magkaisa sa pag-ibig ni Kristo. Pagpalain tayong lahat ng Panginoon. Ito po ang inyong programang Marhay na Bareta.
Mas nagpatibay ba ng iyong pakikinig ng Marhay na Bareta ang iyong paniniwala at pananampalataya? Maaari kang makibahagi ng iyong realizations sa pamamagitan ng pag-text sa aming contact information 0998-843-0573 o mag-email sa info@dway.febc.ph. Maaari ring magmensahe sa aming FB page na Care 104.3 The Way FM.